Greetings and welcome back. My name is Brian Izwane. I am delighted to have you rejoin me to take the discussion on strategic management one step further. We introduced strategy, the importance of strategy in strategic management. We went into the value of the development of an effective strategy that presents an opportunity for competitive advantage for your business. We spent some time also reflecting on where your strategic sweet spot arises. When you are clear about that, you are able to develop what will be products or services that address a need in the marketplace that your competitors or your rivals are not able to meet. And indeed, when you are able to have a strategic advantage and a strategic sweet spot, your business has a better chance of not only being started, but growing to a point where it could very well be inviting others to work with you. In the business model canvas, we took some time reflecting on the 9 elements that help us to ensure that our business is touching the spaces it needs to be touching so that our value proposition matches the value that the customer is looking for. Because after all, the real value is assessed and measured by the customer, not so much our delivery. When they buy and they keep coming back, we know we've been delivering and hitting the right spots with them. Having got that very clear for ourselves, it becomes necessary for us to distinguish leadership from management. Strategic leadership, among others, involves anticipating the changes that are taking place in the marketplace or will be taking place in the marketplace. Anticipating that is important. Growing the confidence of the people that you're working with. Ensuring that they see themselves as capable of executing what is presented. It is a joy to see people empowered and coming to themselves and their better versions as a result of a well-articulated strategy that they can carry for themselves forward. Obviously, you want to liberate the thinking of the people in your organization because no one has the monopoly of thinking. Strategic management in and of itself will therefore require that you initiate action on a regular basis. You want to be able to be driven by the strategic objectives that have been articulated, and you keep an eye on the strategic outcomes that will distinguish your offering against that which your competitors are presenting in the marketplace. Obviously, you want to consistently be evaluating the impact you are having in the marketplace, whether it is to society at large as part of your stakeholder base, your customers who are parting with money, and confirming that you're still on track in terms of what you're delivering to them. You also will be able to see that your strategy is going in the right places when you are able to retain your team inside your organization and they want to go much further and advance along with you. This is key in terms of your business, but we want to be able to make sure that we create a culture of execution. Excusitis is virtually everywhere. People have some excuses as to why they did not deliver on the strategy as promised to the shareholders, to the investors, and to anybody who would want to listen. So let's take strategic management one step further. I want to believe that you have taken time to listen to and watch Prof. Jack Militello outlining the strategic management theories and practices and the depth at which he went in order to ensure that we have an appreciation of the discipline of strategic management. He is not only a researcher, but also a practicing consultant who's been helping other organizations to be able to take their ideas into implementation stage. Vital for us to take that forward, because when we have a better appreciation of the importance of implementing strategies, we will do what is necessary to emulate the successes while avoiding the pitfalls others have fallen into. He also makes reference to deliberate and emergent strategies. I want to believe you've taken some time to look at that. The interplay around strategies that are developed for political purposes and those that are developed with specific orientation for the profit motive. When you have an appreciation of deliberate strategy versus emergent strategy, you probably will find it a lot easier to then take yourself to the execution of strategy. The conceiving of strategy has in itself various theories that we could draw from. We have often found people talking to strategy and drawing from the 5 factors that influence strategy as articulated by Michael E. Porter of Harvard Business School. We want to utilize this time departing from just the concentration on the factors that influence strategy to factors that ensure the execution of strategy. I've had the privilege of working with colleagues at the Franklin Covey organization, and I will be sharing some lessons that come from that association, but much of this is available in the public domain. I would like for you to take some time really looking into development of a discipline of execution of strategy, where there is clarity around the starting line and the finish line. And when those are in place, you are able to deliver not only to the satisfaction of yourself, but to the people you have promised exceptional outcomes to. All of your stakeholders have their eyes gazing in your direction because they want to know that at least there is somebody who matches their promises with delivery. So integrity of your business will be tested on how well you execute your strategy. Together with Sean Covey and Jim Helling, Chris McChesney formulated 4 disciplines of execution. And there is a video that we've already directed you to for you to have an appreciation of what needs to be put in place for strategy to be executed very, very well. So the remainder of this process is about implementation of the 4 disciplines of execution. Essentially, due to the limitations of our time, we're going to pay attention to the first 2 disciplines. Discipline 1 is focusing on the wildly important. This is where extreme focus needs to be. The second discipline is about acting on lead measures. In that area, what we're really seeking to be able to do is to identify activities which, when implemented, guarantee the delivery of the goals. And then the back of that is keeping a compelling scoreboard, not a scorecard. Why is this necessary? Because everyone who is working, if they can see whether they're winning or losing, they are able to adjust their performance accordingly. The final discipline is one of creating a rhythm of accountability where people come together and commit to be able to do things that will move the dial, shift things towards the delivery, final delivery with excellence of the goal that has been set. Strategy without a clear focus on what is widely important will translate in us being busy being busy. When we are clear and we have a peg put down indicating what victory will look like, we are able to articulate that. So here is an example. If you are part of the Quebec cycling team sponsored by MTN, winning the Tour de France is one very clear, wildly important goal. Many of the athletes who went through to Tokyo had to, first and foremost, qualify. Having qualified, they become Olympians. But a critical thing is to be able to say, I will return with a bronze medal, I will return with a silver medal, I will return with a gold medal and a world record. These are the things that we have come to appreciate from athletes. The same can be applied in the world of business. Working on the wildly important goal will require that you determine for yourself where your energies are going to be applied. The inner circle are those things you can influence, things you have control over. So you want to be able to set for yourself a goal that is achievable, but also a stretch goal that you can influence. And then, if your attention is into that, you are going to be able to stress less about things that are out of your reach altogether. Using the example that is on your screen right now, you may be able to work out for yourself what your wildly important goals are going to be with a clear lead measure. The example that we've got right here is one where we're looking at growing revenues for the organization by $4 million in the financial year. How does that come about? Now, you've got a business goal and then you've got divisional goals. The sales team says they will create 2 million new sales revenue this year. And then you look at measure accounts. They say, no, they will grow measure accounts revenue by an additional 2 million. So in that process, you have the 4 million that you're looking for. The IT team, on the other hand, comes through and says, what we will do to support the goal is to maintain a stable platform with zero downtime. That is something that makes it clear to all and sundry that the goal is going to be achieved. Using this, I ask you now to be able to determine for yourself what is the wildly important goal you're setting for yourself. Put this on your discussion board and prepare it with the preparedness to engage with others so that they can add value to it and you can work with it further as well. Philosopher Jim Rohn challenges us to be able to understand that we will need to suffer from one of two pains, the pain of discipline or a pain of regrets. I would like to believe that having formulated strategy, you would not want to regret having lost the time of strategy implementation because you were busy chasing the small factors that really have absolutely no value at all. Strategy execution requires people who feel a sense of affinity with the strategy and operate in an environment where systems and processes have been played and laid out for them to be able to take advantage of so as to execute. In order to be able to go much further, you need a leadership pipeline that is filled with people who are constantly looking for ways of improvement, which the Japanese call Kaizen, and you've got sufficient depth so that if somebody goes, or God forbid, they pass on, there is continuity inside the organization. But you also want to be able to make sure that you do not suffer for talent flight because people are enticed to go somewhere else while the strategy is midstream. One of the key ways to be able to make sure that strategy execution becomes part of the culture of the organization is to deal with non-performers. Too often, organizations do not reach the potential they're capable of by virtue of not dealing with non-performers. We talk consequence management, but do not implement consequence management. Performance management needs to be able to link all of the human resources practices to achievement of business results. When that is done, you're bound to be a talent magnet. You're bound to have people who will want to stay with your organization long term. When we've set our goals and we're very clear about them, we call that wildly important goal. And if it has a leg measure that also demonstrates progress from X to Y, we know we have something that is measurable. Having got that, now needs to be able to take us to the identification of lead measures that guarantee the delivery of the wildly important goal. In the example shared earlier of the internet services company growing its revenue by a whole 4 million, we have come to appreciate that we will have at least 3 departments playing a clear part to executing key actions that will deliver the goal. But let's just zone in on the sales team as an example, and you can translate that into your own agri-business. To be able to get the 2 million, that's contribution towards the achievement of the 4 million total financial year revenue growth, 3 key lead measures were agreed to. One was to be able to sign contracts with 3 qualified partner sellers within the quarter. That is, we have the sellers, we have them as people who understand what needs to be done, so we can be assured and will allocate the necessary amount to each one of the 3 so that the 2 million is realizable. We also look into ensuring that outbound calls are with qualified leads that are increasing from 200 leads to 250 per week, which then means that by the end of the month, we will have had a whole 1,000 qualified leads spoken to. And finally, you look into increasing the follow-up of the referral calls, because we might be getting good referrals, but we just write them down and not take action. Here, the example is one that says we'll grow that number from 6 to 8 per week, which effectively means we are ensuring that in the 5 days we have, we will have at least a follow-up of 1 to 2 people per day. That enables us to be able to say we can influence the contract signing, we can influence outbound goals, and we can influence the follow-ups. Using the internet company as an example to draw from, you can now determine lead measures for your self-selected, wildly important goals. Chris McChesney has explained the process, and I encourage you to be able to take time to truly look into not only the lag measures, which are after the effects, but the lead measures which you can influence. you can do something about on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. When that is in place, you will then be able to set up a scoreboard which will guide the performance of yourself and your colleagues, and you will close off that process by institutionalizing a weekly review process. That weekly review process will create a sense of accountability among your colleagues. That is what we're about, and I encourage you to give it your best. So, borrowing from Ralph Waldo Emerson, I want to close off our time together in terms of strategic management by pointing to success simply being the ability to laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to find the best in others, to leave the world a bit better. And in the agribusiness, you definitely can do that. And to know even one life has breathed easier because you've lived and your agribusiness has contributed to their life being extended. This is to have succeeded. It's been an honor and a pleasure for me to be able to share these lessons on what strategic management is all about, formulating the strategy, and executing the strategy. I challenge you to take time to review the work you've done up until now, see the successes you have made, and the challenges that may still be there. Work on all so that in the end, excellence becomes a habit and you surround yourself with people who love to deliver excellent results so that your business can contribute to the excellence of the sector and the excellence of the country. All the best. Go well.